You're listening to the Gabe Molina Podcast.
Coachaba Mondays, Little League, Tuesdays eran games, Wednesdays coachaba los young guns. I took them out of the streets, little young kids, and I had a couple of old pistols, que era the Legend Junior, Diaz and Eddie, my son. Anyway,
They were helping you.
yeah,
Sí.
they were players también. Y luego
Porque en eso también jugaba tu nuera, que era la esposa de él.
Sí,
también.
yeah. Pues entonces lo que pasó, I'll get to that in a minute, pero cuando entonces Thursdays era practice y luego Fridays era little game y luego Saturdays, estos coaches de Three Rivers me dijeron que if I would go on Saturdays and work with their girls, little league girls.
Okay.
So I went over there on Saturdays from 9 to
Was it
12.
girls? Was it girls?
Little league girls, yeah.
Little League? Okay.
Yeah, it was 9 to 12, era on Saturdays. Y luego Sundays pues me iba a los tournaments.
Yes.
Pero así comencé con ustedes. You asked me how I coach y'all, right?
Yes, how you came to be with us.
Okay, that's how ya
But
sé
I used
también.
to come over here because we used to practice across the tracks. So then yo me venía de Three Rivers and I was on your team.
Pero era que cuando Bear quería juntar buenas peloteras de
Bueno,
whatever team was,
Mira,
you would drag them
back in the
here from
70s,
there.
Before the Cherokee.
back in the 70s, Celia y Amalia, ¿no está Amalia? Y Celia y Amalia, and there were some more girls that played for me in the 70s.
Yeah.
And they probably remember better than me
Well, I wrote their names down.
quién
So
jugó,
maybe
back
can
in the
remember.
70s.
Because wasn't
And,
y'all's first team the Blue Demons?
¿Qué hija?
Y'all's first women's team, wasn't it the Blue Demons? Well, I was a
We
little
were
kid,
the
I
Blue
knew-
Demons. Amalia y Celia were Blue
Because I can
Demons.
remember, like, I was telling you the other day, Solis, Julian Solis.
Yes.
Esther?
Yes.
Is that her name, Esther?
Yes.
Or Ruby or-
Martinez, Esther.
Esther and Ruby.
But Solis, right? Julian Solis.
Okay.
I remember them playing, or Linda playing, Russell playing.
They were
Bear.
Bernales. They were not Solises. But Esther was Solis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Remember?
Chimera Martín Solís.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't remember those names. 'cause I was
Okay,
a
well,
little
the
kid.
ones that I remember with us, que eran los coaches that were with you or whatever, it was Roland, Richard Tlanguma, Chilo, my brother, and you, and even David Melcher at one
That's
time.
Melcher.
But then we had,
Even his wife played with
Yeah.
us.
Right, Esther,
Susan.
those were all
Suzanne,
the-
and then I had Norma Perez, Rosie Cruz,
Shortstop.
Rachel, ¿quién será Rachel?
Rachel Tanguma.
Yes,
Tanguma,
yes,
ajá.
yes.
Norma Perez, Suzanne Melcher, Mary Reese, Celia and Anna, Diana Pullen, Connie Churchill, Letty Cruz, Esther Joyner, Mary Chavarria, Nelda Cantu, Linda Garcia, Baba Molina, Stella Salazar, Sally Garcia was on the second team, Ruth Gutierrez, Cici Molina, Connie Woods, Rosie Fernandez, Connie Churchill, I did her, Lupe Briones, Diana Garza, and then I remember it was Mary Rufina Reese's sister from Memphis.
And you had her name, Celia?
¿Cómo se llamaba la otra que venía con María?
Celia.
Con María,
Ajá.
Celia. Did you
Rufina,
say Celia?
Rufina Reese.
No, either I think she had a nickname like Cheme or I don't remember her real name.
From where that?
Pero venían de Mazas, Mary Reese.
Mary, ¿verdad que era Mary?
Celia,
So,
Celia. You didn't have her name, Celia?
probably
You had
not.
Ophelia Reese,
Susan.
Alma Valdez,
Cecilia
Gracie
played with
Valdez.
us,
Uh-huh.
Ophelia.
Ana-
And then the
Ana
older
Salazar
lady that
también
pitched,
jugó con
what was her
nosotros.
name?
Yeah, Ana
Ana
Salazar
Salazar, okay.
también. Ajá. Yeah. There was a bunch of
It's
us.
like
I don't know how
3
we
weeks
got
ago.
all this. Some were young girls, but some were older like us.
Yeah.
¿Sabes
I
que,
don't know how we did
que muchos jugaron before, que se vinieron conmigo y luego con otros team after me.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, como Rosa was my utility girl. She played everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nomás,
She was good.
Yeah.
yes,
Man, she was one of the-
infield, outfield y todo. Pero what I'm getting at is, there was a lot of people, a lot of girls that knocked on my door, or they saw me in town. que querían jugar conmigo. Pero to be honest contigo, I don't want to be mean ni nada. There were so many girls, but they were not ball players. Y cuando tú vas a competition, you better take
Yes.
Pues sí.
the best.
Wanna win.
We noticed that.
Yeah.
That when you take
We wanna win.
girls, the Mathis, the Beeville, the Three Rivers, whatever, the best ones.
Yeah.
Porque you wanted to win.
Amalia me parece que después se movió para acá porque ella es de Tilden. And then I had y'all, que era Rosa, Celia, y luego Mary, Shia, and Donna.
In Connie,
Vivian,
yeah.
and María y esa otra girls que no me acuerdo cómo se llamaba.
Well, I know que Rufina Reese is my sister-in-law, and then this was her sister allá.
What position?
Rufina Reese is your sister-in-law?
Rufina, huh?
Left
Really?
field. Left field. Yeah, she played the left field.
Y Norma Perez was one-time shortstop, no?
Yeah, she played shortstop.
What was that? La mera shortstop.
Yeah.
It was
No, Norma was the shortstop for the Cherokees.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think if anything, I
Most of those
just.
names you're calling out were on the Cherokees team.
Okay.
Yes, you had Cherokee 2 and Cherokee 1,
Yeah.
right? Y'all had 2
I want to
teams.
combine everybody, just to
Okay.
put like where we were and where we're now, and just kind of make it. Pero como digo, I don't want to leave people out, and that's what happens when you write an article. So that's why I told Jeff from the Progress. I said, I'm hoping that you won't delete it, that we can go from 1 week to the other week. They go, no, we can work with it. So it's going to be longer. They only give me 1 page. Pero if we do it, because I don't want to leave
Porque
anybody
había
out.
tenido problema con el viejo al otro del newspaper
Yeah,
fregado
that's
cuando
what we
vendieron whatever, so she stopped writing for a while, if you noticed on the progress.
They're written in.
So-
Ya no
¿Sabes qué?
tenía chiste.
I consider Tres Rios my next door neighbor. I know a lot of people in Tres Rios, especially the ball players.
That's
Real
what we
quick,
went on the weekends.
So, I'm gonna start recording with you guys, and just so everybody listening knows, we have a lot of women in here, so I'm not even gonna try and control this thing. So, we're recording, we got a few microphones staying around, so that's why there's a little bit of hollow tone to it, but, if you can lean into the microphones, it comes in a little clearer. But, no, you guys keep going. I like hearing the stories like we talked about earlier, being able to share your history and the parts of you that affected me as a kid
You
growing up.
want to
watching you.
start like this?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's go in a circle here and just kind of say your name and one thing that
How you got started?
I
Of
guess
course, you had your dad.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
started, my name is Linda Lopez. I pitched, I was a good pitcher. But because my daddy started me pitching and then Bear. But I played for a few years with Bear, and then Hector started a team, and I went to play with Hector Cuevas. But I started playing way back. I'm one of the old ones here.
And what was your position?
Pitch,
Yeah,
Pitcher?
the
and you were with the Blue Demons?
way
Okay.
back.
How many years did the Blue Demons play?
And I can tell you, but I know we played a lot of games, like the Bear and the BJs, we played a lot of games, and I don't want to brag ni nada, pero entrábamos una vez, esta Rosa que diga, we were the Bear and the BJs back then, I think it was los
There in the
80s.
BJs?
Yeah, and okay, this guy from San Antonio me habló que se quería ir a un tournament. And I don't know the guy, pero what happened was, cuando vas a un tournament, se juntan todos los coaches and they swap phone numbers.
Yes.
And that's how they invite you invite them. Y ahí se va, ellos lo pasan a otros coaches. So, fuimos para San Antonio, it was an 8 o'clock game. And, porque me habló que si queríamos ir y le dije que sí. Digo, está bueno, y después te hablo que what time you gonna play? I said, fine. Y Mary, Donna y Chia ya estaban jugando con nosotros. And if I'm not mistaken, I told them que se vinieran a dormir aquí en la casa de nosotros. Y vino Héctor. ¿Se acuerdan de Héctor también?
Hector who?
Hector
Héctor
Garza.
Garza.
He's from Beeville.
He was jugaba con... ¿Sabes que cuando Mary, Donna y Chia jugaban con la familia? Y Héctor estaba con la familia. He would keep the book for them.
And who were they? Mary who?
Mary, Donna y Chia.
Donna? And who?
Shea. S-H-E-A.
Video. And entonces Hector found out que I had talked to those 3 girls. Y si querían ayudarme en los weekends at tournament and Sundays. Y me dijeron que sí. So April vino y me dijo, hey, I heard que Donna, Mary, and Shea was going to play for you. I said, yeah, they're going to help me on Sundays. Can I go too? They only you keep the book for me. Yeah, I keep the book, dijo. You know, April se quedaba en la casa de nosotros muchas veces. A good old guy, you know. And como quiera que sea, I think they stayed at our house that Sunday. If you took off early to go play in San Antonio. I'm pretty sure you remember this. And cuando llegamos a San Antonio, vino el señor y me dijo, thank you for coming. I said, thank you for inviting us. So, ya me preguntó cuándo estaba George West, and I told him, well, we're in between Corpus and San Antonio. I said, you go to 81, King Misty, you can go right through George West. Oh, dijo, I think I know where George West is at. Dijo, that's about 10 miles from Three Feathers. Dije, yes, sir, 3 miles from Three Feathers. He was the coach, I mean the umpire. Y decía cada rato, yeah, move it, you're wasting time. You move it, you're wasting time. Pero como quiera que sea, every time we went to tournaments, we either salíamos first or second. Cada vez cuando salíamos third. Pero la mayoría era because I had a good team. You know, and I appreciate you girls playing for me. And if I could do it all over again, I'm pretty sure y'all could do it all over again también. Because there were good times.
We can relive it again.
So,
I think my heart says I want to, but my body says
Exactly. We
My
can
heart says, you
relive
better
it.
not, because your heart's gonna go out.
Yeah, we can relive it, but we can't do it.
that's true. La mente quiere,
Yes.
pero el cuerpo no te deja.
Yes.
You know.
Los años.
So, Amalia, you next.
We turned in the bats for the canes.
Yeah.
That's true.
But anyway, I'm going to tell you as much as I can remember because, I mean, I wasn't off and on because I was going to school in Tilden. And during the summer, I would come to stay with Wela. And I would play ball then. I want to say I was a freshman back in 1968. It's when I would play during the summer. I remember playing then, but I don't remember a lot of the ladies that y'all mentioned because I guess because there were Three Rivers and y'all were more associated than me. I was way over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd love to play ball though. It was my favorite thing to do, keep me busy and occupied. But I played first base and third base. And I remember Marianne Valverde. Oh my gosh. She would fire that ball in the first base. It was just burning a hole already before it got there. But we learned to play together, and I mean it was so enjoyable to play with so many. And remember, not too long ago, we attempted again to go into the airport.
Yeah, I remember.
And of course, we didn't go too far. We did what, maybe 3 practice lessons? Yeah. But as far as I can remember, those were the days that I played. And back then, I married in '76, and I think I played a little bit after that, and then I didn't play anymore.
Right.
But
Yeah.
¿Cómo se llama tu late husband?
Juan Solis.
Juan. And now you have one. Okay.
Next.
And then you have your son is ¿cómo se llama? Eugene.
And
I
Melissa.
pray. Okay.
Yeah, I just have Eugene and Melissa.
And Melissa.
For babies.
Yes.
And now her grandbabies are playing.
Oh, yeah.
Now the little babies are playing t-ball.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's over there.
All right, Anna, you next.
Okay, well, I'm Ana Peña, and I don't remember that much anymore, like I should. But the thing is, just remember that Celia got me all excited about it and got me involved in playing ball, which I thought I didn't think I could make it, but I thought,
¿Y el
well,
tanque cómo se llama? Deja el tanque.
oh no, cuando iba a pegar al base, que iba a pegar, me decía Bear, Destráncala, que iba a correr, destráncala, tráela, tía. Destráncala, tráela, tía, para poder correr más riesgo.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And you were the catcher?
I was the catcher and played outfield también.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember que it was so hot some days that we played que it was in the
He
weekend.
complaining.
And say, well, just think snow, you know. And I said, oh God, yes. I
Sudi,
did.
echando más.
And then I played for, I don't know exactly how long I got to play until I wound up getting breast cancer. And so then I said, well, this is not going to stop me from playing. I'm going to go back as soon as I can. So I did. I started going back and practicing and all that, even though I just think I overdid it, but still it kept me going, and I just wanted to keep on going. I said, I'm not going to stop just because of this, you know. I mean, I was a positive person that nothing would really stop me from doing anything I wanted to do. Had faith in God, and God would help me to do whatever, and He did.
Right.
And thank God I've been lucky up to now. It's been since 1981 that I had breast cancer. And I've been lucky that I haven't had any more problem with that. But I enjoyed it, and it was hard having to go to practices also in the afternoon, and then I have to, I was going to work at 3 Rivers at the family planning, but sometimes we had to stay there for practice, and I didn't get home till late, you know. But anyway, it was fun, and I enjoyed it.
Well, see, that's what I like. You girls were dedicated.
We went to
You girls were
practice.
dedicated.
Oh, yes.
Venían out of town practices, venían out of town to go to the tournament. And that's what you want. You want people dedicated. Porque si vas a meter aquí, vas a meter allá, y you don't show up for tournament y todo, you're going to break todo.
Yeah.
The team.
You know, estamos unidos, and we all know how to, we all play, how we do things y todo. And so yeah, y'all were dedicated.
Yes. We
Silvia?
just liked Silvia.
I'm Sylvia Menchaca, and I don't remember much, Barry, either. I just know that when we would have practices, we used to go out there and practice from like 5 in the evening till dark.
Late. Yeah.
And I know there was times that I wouldn't practice that great, and you would keep me later to work with me so that way I could get it right. And when we would play competitive teams, or that you knew we were going to a tournament, you'd have us out there practicing late. And that's not including the days I wouldn't practice with you. My dad was out there after me too. You know, let's go out and practice. And I know one thing I remember for sure is, and I'm sure you do too, is one time we went to the dance at the El Dorado. We had a tournament the next day in Kennedy. Couldn't even catch a fly ball. I remember that. So, and you were so upset. You were so upset because, I mean, I couldn't do anything at that tournament. But, hey, I was young, and we learned. We learned if we were going to go play and be the best, I had to stay home.
But I did notice one thing, that everybody, I could tell that
See, I
everybody
remember-
wanted to do good. They wanted to do good.
I remember where you're coming from, because I remember in the next practice, I got you all together and I said, look, either you want to play or you don't want to play. Tell me right now.
Sure.
If you want to play, I coach you. I'll give you 100% maybe. But I also want you 100%. And I said, si quieren ir a los bailes y todo eso, es cosa de ustedes. But I will find out. Somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to know.
Oh, he will find out.
And, no, se compusieron. I mean, y'all came back to practice and y'all played good ball.
But one thing for sure, you were always very
Professional,
good and
yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
And,
Never yelled at
and
us.
Nice, never ugly, respectful. And we knew you meant business and you wanted to help us.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. Because,
I tell everybody growing up,
He never yelled.
I say, when Dad got mad, he got quiet. You know, Dad never yelled at me. I got spanked all the time. He'll tell you he doesn't spank because he's a grandpa now. But when he got quiet, that's when there was a problem.
you know, the little league girls, había muchos coaches que le gritaban.
Yes.
Cuando yo gritaba era para que te movieras para acá o para allá o para adentro o para afuera. Pero what I'm trying to say is, ellos le gritaban porque habían hecho un descuento.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yo nunca, I never believed in that. Yo las dejaba cantar en el dugout y las sentaba, entonces le decía, mira, next time do it this way. Pero yo no la quieres envergonzar porque ya se sienten mal por messing up.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're going to hammer on them some más? No. So I'm glad I never did that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And then just come we all learn from creative criticism, but not.
You're next.
Yeah.
Celia?
No. Just pass. I'm writing, and then I'll come back to me.
No, go ahead.
I'm like Anna. I feel like I want to write the best story ever because you deserve it, Bear. You just, and I even remember that it was during the time that I came from George West because I knew they were giving you a bake sale benefit or whatever, and we were at Lowe's, and I remember you telling me, I wish I could get my girls back and have like we are right now. And I said, Bear, that's a great idea, you know. So I feel like all this time, this is what we wanted to do, and it's like another year, another month, and then, you know, and then all of a sudden we're talking, and here I am Sunday at church, and you all walk in, and then you said, we're having it Saturday. I'm gonna go, you know, Lordy, como la garrapata me pego, you know, and I felt like, Mike, this is so great. Bear has been wanting this for so long, but when I try to think, I know that I would come from Three Rivers, and I remember playing across the tracks. And I remember one time Judy Safarini came because we were doing a tournament for little Amalio Daniel, because he had leukemia. Yeah. And that we had our senator here, and I remember writing about it in the paper. Amalio Daniel, el niño de Oscar.
Arturo Martínez, el nieto.
Yeah, he was 6 years old when he died with leukemia.
El de Noelia.
Yeah, Noelia and Oscar Martinez.
I remember con el chopper de abajo.
Yes, and I felt like these are the memories, and this is how he came out to really help, you know, the community. And then that we had connections with the senator. She made down. I remember her giving Noelia.
And she really came down because of me and you, because we always helped her
Sí,
all the time.
Her, you know,
All the time.
Yeah,
all the
I
time.
remember that.
But and then I remember that era Dona Cecilia.
Sí, Cabrera.
Yeah, Cabrera. And that she could hit good, but she couldn't run, so she had a runner, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
But I don't remember me. All I remember is that when I was a pitcher, and remember we had to bring the ball down, and I couldn't do it. You know, Bear would come to the mound and just, you know, just relax. Okay, you need to just take your time, and you know, and I never got it, so me quitaron the pitcher. But I was a pitcher for a long time when he was flat ball, you know, whatever. So.
You've been good at fast pitch.
Yeah.
But then Rosie.
And then I remember that then all of a sudden we were Cherokees, and then Joe Moron, that's when I was saying that I told her, I said, see, my little waist was this little, you know, that we got those uniforms. But I still remember Bear, but it's been 50 years. I mean, I've been married 48, so it's got to be 50 years, you know, that we go back.
Yeah.
So I can't think. But it's just the idea that finally, and this is what I want to put across, that finally this man, we're here together, we're reminiscing, we're bringing up, and like you said, you're his son?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm real bad at names.
Okay.
You know, that I want to put it, like you say, into a story. And when you write, you either leave people out or they delete and they think that I did it, you know,
Yeah.
And that's what all these problems that came up.
We want to
We're
make
not
clear
writing
that
anymore.
there's a lot of the girls that play for us, but we don't remember.
Yes.
We're not leaving them out.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're
you
still
can just
in
put
our
that
team.
there.
And so, como digo, but the idea is that we're here, and you know, it's sharing the memories and how you believed. You know, I'm still a firm believer in staying active, staying in good health, doing exercise, and I get on the treadmill 5 minutes is too much, you know, but you know, still trying to improve, you know, our well-being, because that's what it's all about, and this is what you believe in, you know. And then I feel that even though now you're you know, at a point where you're going to dialysis, you're getting this, you know, but it doesn't put you down. So this is an example for us to follow. You know, never give up, keep going. You know,
Never give up.
yeah. So I know that just being with the team helped me. I too, you know, felt like it took me a long time to get pregnant with Lauren Tonia, but I know that when I did get pregnant that first time, that was when I said that I was going to
Because
quit.
you were 40 at the time.
Well, see, but when we quit, I was younger than that because then I miscarried later on.
Yeah.
And then by that time, I no
When you
longer
got pregnant, you
played.
were 40.
Yeah. So I feel like when I got pregnant at 40 or delivered Lorenzonia, that has been the best thing in my life. So, pero esta huerca no creo yo que she's gonna be a baseball player. But anyway, I feel like Mike never took that away from me, and I was
Yeah.
grateful for my husband. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, Carmen no le gustó sport nunca, pero
No chiquito.
I think she's got a story because cuando yo comencé a ir a los tournaments, a ella no le gustaba, ella no quería ir. Finally, cuando comenzó a ir más seguido, le comenzó a gustar because yes, she was learning the game, you know, so she could tell you by herself, you know, que that would happen, you know, con ella. So, right, babe? Well, tell us.
No chiquito.
Well, you know, I never liked being in the heat to begin with. And that was my big thing is 100-degree weather and I was sitting in the stands. Some of the stands didn't have, you know, a roof to it. Some of them did. Some of them had trees. Some of them didn't. So I just made the best of it. Sometimes I'd have to go to the car and turn on the AC for a little while because I couldn't take it no more. Sometimes I'd just say, I'm not going, I'll stay home. And you'd say, let's go. And so
Well,
I
you
go.
were brought up, you weren't used to it.
No,
basically.
my family never played
Yeah,
sports.
what is it?
So, not to mention, I got married very young. So, but after a time, I started seeing, you know, Bear coaching and what he told the girls and how it would perk them up.
The love he had for it.
Yeah, and I realized, hey, he really loves to do this, and he does. I mean, I've never seen anybody that loves the sports as much as he does.
Yeah.
And all sports.
We're agreed to
You
that.
know, and I had to, you know, being married to him, I had to either follow him or stay home, and I wasn't gonna just not follow him because that was part of his life.
Yeah.
And I always told him, you know, your kids are my kids. Your life is my life, you know. And I have to learn to live the way you're living because you're my husband now, you know, and it's not the way I was brought up, but
Yeah.
but you know, I had to accept it. So either stay home or go with him, and I chose to be there with him. And I got to know a lot of girls, you know, and I enjoyed, you know, y'all's
places?
companionship. Yeah. No, the places we went, it was hot.
That's one
I'm not
thing-
going to mention the places we went.
That's one thing that people need to understand is when you go to these high school fields or these softball fields nowadays and they're beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
It's like you guys were playing
In the sticks.
in the sticks and you know a lot of bad hops. You know
Dirt,
it wasn't
blowing.
a nice field. You guys were playing in rough areas and it was pretty dangerous. I mean, there's an opportunity to get hurt by a ball that took a bad bounce or you know it was.
And we didn't have insurance. We just thought we were
No.
invincible.
Yeah.
We weren't going to break
We
an
never
arm
thought
or
anybody
a
would
leg.
get hurt or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
We never even thought that we were going to, you know, curl ourselves anymore.
And the fun was when you have to run way out there into the weeds and try to find the ball.
Yeah.
There was no fence. There was no end to the field.
Okay, Barbara?
I'm Barbara Molina. My nickname was Bubba growing up, but
Yes.
for me it's been a lot of fun because like Gabriel, I was at the softball field at a young age, so I got to watch a lot of you ladies play ball, and then I was fortunate enough to play with a bunch of y'all. Now, growing up, my idol has always been Rosa Valadez was my idol, so I mean, it was fun for me. As I got older, I got to play on the same team as Rosa, and my dad, he always worked with me, so that's all we did was play ball at home. So I'm 52 years old. I'm probably the youngest one in here. So I mean, that's how long y'all have been doing this. Y'all been doing it for a long, long time, and it's been a lot of fun. Well, it was a lot of fun. So
What was it about Rosa that you liked so much? Was it her style or what was it?
to me, I mean, she was our shortstop, and she was good.
But she didn't know how to answer her phone, right, Bud?
And what did you play? What position?
I played more outfield.
Outfield.
But then when I got older, I played in
She's a
field.
character, that's why.
Well, see, when Barbara was younger, en me llevaba los tournaments y le ponían left field 2 entradas y la sacaba because she was playing, you know, ladies más solid.
Yeah.
Porque she was young.
Yeah.
And, y luego jugaba Little League. So el presidente de Little League vino una vez ahí en el Little League field.
Chihuahua.
Digo, I heard that your daughter's playing softball on Sundays and Little League. I said, yes, sir. He said, well, she can't play 2 sports. Either she's got to play softball or Little League. And ya tenía 12 años, you know, that was her last year. You know, ¿sabes qué? We'll finish Little League season. Le dije, I won't take her to the tournament. I'll take her, but she won't play. Le dije, pero, we'll finish the Little League season. Y así fue. Cuando acabó, yo practicaba con ella, one-on-one. Pues practicaba, muchas veces era Eric, José y Barbara. Vidal todavía no venía, Gabriel estaba muy mediano todavía. And I would hit 15 minutes of ground balls, 15 minutes of line drives, y 15 minutes of deep fly balls. And I noticed que entre más, you know, she was doing better and better. Hasta que, pues a la edad de 14, le estaba pegando ground balls ahí en la casa. And he took a bad hop y le cortó el labio. So she went inside para el washroom, you know, lavarse la boca. Y yo me fui y prendí el TV y todo. I was mad at myself for what I had to do her. And prendí el TV y luego ratito salió. Digo, what are you doing, Dad? Digo, I'm watching TV. Digo, no, come on, we got 8 more minutes. Digo, got me a ball for her. Porque si faltaban, eran 15 minutos, you know, que we did that drill. Y faltaban 8 minutes, o me dijo, we got 8 more minutes. So, como quiera que sea, cuando completó 14 años, le dije, ¿sabes qué, mija? I think you're ready. I think you're ready to play with the team. Digo, you think so, Dad? Le dije, yeah, I know so. Y si tú paras las ground balls que yo pego, las line drives que yo pego, las deep fly balls, I know I'll hit harder than any girl you're going to face. So you're ready. You're going to start being my shortstop. Ahí comenzó a ser mi shortstop. Era zurda, pero she was quick, she had a good arm, you know. And, porque muchas veces quieres el right hand and they play shortstop, porque no la tire, you don't want to go with ella. Pero como quiera que sea, she did. And so she played for me, or no?
And you were my idol. Oh man, I can see her just, oh man, she made it easy. Look easy. Golly.
Celia? I mean,
Rosa?
That's okay, I've been called different names. I can't tell you I remember much, Bear. I call it COVID brain. But
COVID, yes.
COVID. I played when I was in 6th grade is when I started playing ball. So I am Rosa Valadez Guajardo.
Right.
Because I played as a kid for a very long time. And I was that kid that said, I want to stay longer, and I'd come in earlier to get the ground balls and stuff. But you were not only an awesome coach, Bear. I want to say something that I think we all forget sometimes. Then I'm going to cry. But I always remembered you saying, God first. You would always tell us that. You know, we were going to go play a game or whatever, it was God first. Not only did you make me a better person by teaching me faith in God, I carried it on to my kids, and I was blessed by God to coach for 5 years with no certification at the school, at the junior high level. And I taught these kids all this that I learned from you. You know, it was just, and I can't tell you about all the games that we played and what have not. I do remember working at U.S. Steel as a young lady, getting off of graveyards because I worked shift work, and I'd bring my lawn chair. I don't know if some of you remember. I'd lay it out there and I'd sleep between games, you know, and then I'd wake up to go play the game, you know, but I loved it. And I still love it in my heart. That's why it was hard to, do I come here? Do I go watch my granddaughter? Because I don't like to miss their games, even though, you know, they're far from me. It's a good drive to go all the time. But
And who did you teach, coach for 5 years? What
the
kids?
junior high level
Junior high.
here in Georgia West.
Okay.
And actually it's because I was coaching Little League myself. And I think when I used to work at the courthouse, and from there I went to work at the school as a teacher's aide, and because the coaches there saw what I was doing with the kids in Little League, they asked me if I wanted to coach. And I didn't get to do softball. I did just the junior high, 7th grade kids, or girls I should say, and it was just volleyball, basketball, and track. That's all that they had for junior high at the time.
Right.
And I was blessed to be able to do that for 5 years without, like I said, the certification. And you know, I just think it's a blessing, you know, to have someone to teach you all those things and then to pass it on to your kids, you know.
Yeah, because it's our responsibility as parents, you know. Como yo me acuerdo, I didn't do it all the time, but then I realized that I had to. Cuando estaba escuchando en league, I would tell the girls, before we start playing, we're going to pray.
Yeah.
And I told them, when I say hit the fence, everybody, porque yo estaba fuera del dugout, ya estaban adentro. I said, when I say hit the fence, I want y'all to come with your hands on the fence, and I won't be afuera with my hands on the fence también. And we say a silent prayer, you know, and I started doing that, you know, and hopefully, como dice Rosa, I hope I passed on some of the girls también. Porque es muy importante, you know, como está el mundo hoy,
Yeah.
you know, si no es Dios primero,
Yeah.
ahí dice en la Biblia, dice, ¿a quién voy a ir si no es a usted, Señor?
Yeah.
You know, ¿a quién voy a ir si no es Él? You know, and
And he always says, haz tu lucha que yo te ayudaré.
ándale. Y luego, you know, I remember ahorita, cuando comenzó Fast Pace in high school, Baba graduó. It was in 84, I believe. Baba graduó ese año y comenzó Fast Pace in high school. I'm pretty sure que si ella hubiera estado en la escuela, she would have played Fast Pace también. You know, but it just happened que ella graduó y comenzó Fast Pace.
And that was
Y
what year?
I had to learn fast pitch because cuando comenzamos nosotros era slow pitch, literally.
Oh.
Pero después entró fast pitch. So I had to learn fast pitch to teach my pitchers. You know, and I saw a lot of paperwork, I saw a lot of things, you know, and another thing that I'm pretty sure you girls realize and know is a lot of times cuando juegas pelota por bastante tiempo, you pick things up on your own.
Yeah.
I picked up a lot of stuff on my own. Por ejemplo, algo simple. Cuando yo iba a jugar out of town o jugábamos aquí en el baseball field, si tenían bandera, I would look at the flag. It was blowing this way, the wind was blowing this way, right? So in case of pop, fly ball, the ball wouldn't carry. So si no había flag, agarraba zacate y lo aventaba para arriba y a ver cuándo volaba el zacate. Si no había flag, no había zacate, agarraba tierra, un poquito de tierra. And that would tell me que este derecho estaba al aire. Porque yo que eché muchos años aquí en el barrio con los grown-ups and so I learned a lot of things on my own, and of course I know a lot of things from the coaches. Una cosa que yo aprendí, I'm going to tell you all the story que ustedes muchos no saben. Cuando yo tenía 10 o 11 años por ahí, I was going home from school. Y me paré con Mr. Campio, la tienda que era Mr. Campio. Y me paré y le dije que tenía trabajo, que yo quería trabajar. Y se me quedó viendo y me dijo, pues, how old are you? Le dije, I'm 10, I'm in the 4th grade. Le dije, but I need to work. Y me dio trabajo. So levantaba el papel afuera, mochaba un poquito de zacate que había afuera, barría el sidewalk afuera y sack groceries se lo llevaba al carro, ¿me entiendes? Back in the days, that's what he used to do.
Yeah.
And, y back then estampeabas todos los botes, todas las cajas, todo, everything. Ahora no, ahora te ponen
Good old days.
en los shelves y nomás mira el price en shelves.
Yes.
But back then tenías que stamp everything. y luego me ponía a buscar este hall, otro hall, a mí los sidewalks, donde estaban las comidas. Y yo tenía unos tenis.
Ándale.
Y esos tenis los usaba para Little League Practice, Little League Games, para PE, para la escuela, para trabajar, y por whatever I was doing.
Para el baile. Ah.
Sí, hasta más bueno.
Don't leave that for
Come on, Pop.
So, una vez se me rompieron el pie,
Ah, que la fregada.
que se me salía el pie así, ¿no?
Ay.
¿No? Porque también rompido así, ¿no? Cuando fui iba a trabajar, right? Y cuando llegué al trabajo, a la tienda, me puse tape alrededor de la esquina del tape. Y yo tenía un game at 8 o'clock that Friday night. So, me fui y no me paré en la casa, me fui para que me metió Santiago. Yo vivía más para adelantito. Y le dije al lado, oye, le dije, no tengo unos tenis que me prestes por el game tonight. Y después te los traigo. Pues no, digo, pero tengo sandals. Y préstame los sandals. So, me puse los sandals, me fui, platiqué con la mamá un rato. Y me puse el uniform y todo, y me fui a walk from the barrio to the high school. Porque back then, ahora pegas de acá, así nos vio. Y back then it was the opposite, pegabas de aquí, acá. And so los kids comenzaron a burlarse because I was uniform, baseball player, I was sandals. I went with the flow, me ría con ellos. Y luego, cuando fui a pegar, los grown-ups, back in the bleachers, sentados, cuando fui a pegar, se comenzaron a reír, ¿me entiendes? Y me dijeron, hey, knock the dirt off your cleats. So I would knock the dirt off my sandals, go with the flow. I guess the coaches se oyeron algo. Y porque me digo, don't walk home, we're going to take you home. Está bueno. Y luego cuando me llegaron a la casa, me dijeron, be ready tomorrow, era un sábado, next day. Digo, be ready tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we're going to come pick you up. So le dije a mi mamá, le dije, van a venir los coaches a levantarme en la mañana a las 9. Digo, ¿para qué? Le dije, no sé, le dije, nadie en eso tampoco. So tuve que ir para atrás, vivía Lucy Salazar, ella trabajaba con Mr. Campio. So fui para allá y le dije, dile a Mr. Campio que I'll be there at 12. The coach is going to pick me at 9. Le dije, no sé para qué, le dije, pero nomás le dice, digo, sí, le dije, todo. Pues sí, sure enough, at 9 o'clock. Y luego Ellis Morrison, la otra tienda grande.
Yeah.
Ese guy tenía de todo. Bueno, fuimos y era Mr. Mommy que tenía el acne, el butane.
Oh, yeah.
Ok, Mr. Mommy y Mr. Hobbs. So, fuimos para la tienda de Ellis Morrison y dijo, fuimos a andar todos los tenis. Digo, ¿qué es unos tenis? Y me calaba uno y me dije, anda para allá, y anda para acá. Digo, ¿cómo se siente? Le digo, pues está un poco suelto, digo, cálate otros. Hasta que finally le dije, no, estos me quedan bien. Ok, digo, déjatelos. Y luego went around, montaron todas las plantillas, bates, pelotas y todo. Digo, búscate un guante. Digo, que te quede bien, digo, bueno, cuando hagas así, nadie te va a salir, digo, que te quede apretadito. Está bien. So, me calé varios guantes y le dije que este me quedaba bien. Digo, tráetelo. So, cuando salimos,
real quick, Miguel, your glove, was this before or after you were using your cap? Didn't you use your cap?
No, it was after.
It was after. Okay.
Yeah, no, más antes usaba la cachucha, la vacina, para pescar la bola.
How about that?
Como quiera que sea, cuando atrás del West Motel, estamos un cafecito que se llama TNT.
Yeah.
Okay, ahí fuimos y vamos a comer. Ayer. Y yo pedí un hamburger, no, digo, pide algo mejor. Digo, order a soap potato, algo mejor. Está bueno. So pedí un chicken breast steak a la par. 2 meats.
A lo que pensaron.
No, me salí bien bendecido con tenis, calidad.
Y la panza llena.
Sí, lleno.
Corazón
Merry
contento.
Right. Entonces, cuando yo comencé a jugar con los grown-ups, I was already like 14. Y yo coaché, como te digo, muchos años de Little League. Y yo miraba los niños que traían tenis viejos.
Yeah.
Y los tenis no se miraban muy buenos, muchos no venían sin plantilla, no tenían equipment para practicar en las casas. Pues yo comencé a preguntarle ahí a la palomía que no tienes bates o pelotas o tenis que no usen o plantillas, y yo les arreglo y les compongo todo. Pues quiero que lo deje pasar esta Carmen que te diga. Yo tenía el corport lleno de equipment. I had everything. You name it, I had it. Tenía muchas trophies cuando íbamos a jugar. Tenía trophies de 4 pies, 3 pies, 2 pies, hasta chiquitas así,
Ask Barbara, you made me clean them all the time.
Yes. You win them, you clean them.
Como quiera que sea, yo comencé a juntar todo eso y le dije a los que vivían afuera del pueblo, los echaban del trunk, y uno, in between, breaks, se llevaban al trunk y yo need something for them to get tenis, plantillas o lo que quieran. Los que vivían en el pueblo les dije que fueran para la casa. Y ahí está todo colgado afuera, le dije, take whatever you want. Because I want to do what they did for
What
me.
they did for you.
Yeah.
Return the favor.
Right. And así pasaron varios años. Y una vez, esta americana tenía un birthmark aquí y todo el tiempo tenía el cabello caído. Y nadie know que some of the ball players le estaban haciendo burla en la escuela. You know, bullies, en otras palabras. Y vino el papá y me dijo, esto ya está pasando con mi chamaco, some of the girls. Digo, don't worry about it today, it's going to stop today. You don't worry about it. Pues cuando agarramos el break, comencé a hablarles y les dije la historia mía, cuando yo jugaba, cuando andaba con guaraches y esto y lo otro. Le dije, and the way, the reason I know the story so well is because it happened to me. Le dije, I was that young boy. Le dije, ¿ustedes quieren que los traten así, que les hagan burla, que los traten mal? Y no, entonces, don't do it. If you're doing it, you better stop right now. Otherwise, you're not going to play for me. And pues quiero que lo sepas que after a little while, la chamaquita ya comenzaba a reírse. Ya comenzaban a decirle good catch y esto y lo otro. And she felt much, much better, you know. And y pasaron varios años y a esa chamaquita le di mi plantilla, my personal glove, se la di. Le dije, ten cuidado, le dije, porque esta plantilla pesca sola. Se ve la chamaquita nomás. Anyway, estábamos en el betting cage. Íbamos a ir a jugar afuera en los All Stars. Y I noticed que venían 6 mujeres, 6 mamases. Y una de ellas traía un envelope blanco. Y me hablaron. Digo, Coach Berry, wait a minute. Y dije, yes, ma'am. Y fui para allá y dijeron, we noticed que you don't have a glove. Le dije, no, ma'am, I don't. Y yo estaba usando las chamacas, las que estaban pegando, usaba el guante de ellas mientras que echaba la otra. Y así estaba, ¿no? And pues me dijeron, here, digo, we want you to go to the academy and buy yourself a glove. Digo, well, I appreciate this. Thank you very much. Y sí, el siguiente sábado lo fuimos a buscarlo para academy. Pues quiero que lo sepas que no compré una plantilla barata, compré una plantilla buena. Y me sobró para comprar tenis. Y fíjate cómo está la onda, tenis, guantes y tenis. Cuando me voy para el carro, no me pegó ni nada, este ratito me hit me. Y wow, le dije, what I did way back then, I'm doing it, they're doing it to me now.
Nomás faltaba el chicken fried steak.
No.
Well, you know, that story with Rosa's story too, and I'm sure you all have had similar experiences. You know, it's one thing that's so much different now than what it was, you know, when you guys were actively playing. And I think that it's unfortunate, but I don't think it's in its totality, but I think we've gotten away from the fact that we can learn life lessons through sports. you know, and a lot of what you see on TV now is money driven and marketing, and you know, people tend to not look at it as, hey, this is an opportunity for me to change a kid or for me to change myself through sport, you know, because you learn so much. You know, you learn to fail, you learn to succeed, you learn to struggle, you learn that feeling that you get when you're on the
To get along with other players.
To get along with other players, you know, the feeling that you get from being on the brink of losing and then pulling it out at the end, you know, those are amazing feelings.
We did a
you
lot
know?
of that.
A lot of it.
Bueno, nosotros, estas muchachas de aquí, estas mujeres, we did a lot of that.
You know, it's funny. My wife back there, she hates because I take every picture with my finger up. And she's like, "Why do you do that?" And I'm like, "When I was a kid, every weekend we took a picture as a group with our finger up like that because we were first place." And so I still do it to this day, and I'm 44. You know, we'll take a picture and finger goes up.
Picture, you have your finger up.
She was the one that won that day.
Got first place.
She got first place.
Yeah,
I got runner up.
runner up.
You're
the only participant.
Eddie, Barbara, and José, el Diego también, después comenzó a jugar game. I make sure, y le doy gracias a Dios que I could buy them buenos tenis, buenas plantillas,
Yeah.
you know, pelotas, bate y todo para que practicaran. Porque con mi mamá no le alcanzaba, mi mamá
Yeah.
trabajó la Dolan, la Casa Blanca, Two Story. She worked con ellos por muchos años. Y lloviendo y bien caliente los días y todo, y fríos, ella se iba a pie a trabajar. Y I'm pretty sure que por eso me paré a buscar trabajo. Because I'm pretty sure que con lo poquito que le pagaban se mortificaba. Digo, si se enferman los chamacos, tengo que comprarles comida, ropa, pagar utilities y esto y lo otro. And I'm pretty sure a lot of times I'm pretty sure she cried, you know.
Oh, pues sí, of course.
Pero comencé a trabajar y trabajé en 4th grade, 5th, 6th and 7th, la mitad del 7th, me salí y comencé a trabajar, you know, todo el día. Pero that was the main reason I stopped, you know, to buscar trabajo.
To help the family.
And did you really, I was wondering, did you really get the idea or the feeling or the goal of playing ball con tu tío Santiago Valdés, or how did you get started or motivated?
Well, sí, cuando yo tenía 14 años, comencé a jugar con él. Y mi posición era catcher. A mí me gustaba catchar. Y déjame decirte por qué, pero es lo que aprendes.
Well, going back a little bit, because I don't want to cut you off, but going back, when y'all came from Mathis, y'all went straight to his house, right? You lived with him.
And what's his last name? Santiago?
Entonces, Chago Valdés, que hasta el último estaba cargando el agua para los de la baseball team, you know, he would carry the water and all that. Don Chaguito Valdés, huh? Don't you remember him? Yes, you do.
He's got a brilliant mind. I just
remember him.
if I see him, I know, but the names I don't.
Because you all originally came from Memphis?
Sí, nosotros vivíamos en Masas.
Era cebollero.
Era pura onion head.
Dice Carmen, me enamoré.
Hey, I like onion, okay?
All right, let's move on.
Mi papá se fue y luego pasaron varios días y ya dijo no hay que comer, dijo, tu papá no ha venido, digo, tenemos que irnos con tu tío Santiago, whatever, brother.
Yes.
So, lo venimos con mi tío Santiago y ahí tuvimos como 6 o 8 meses hasta que she finally found a house y comenzó a dar el trabajo con la Dolan. Y cuando yo tenía 14 años, mi tío Santiago me dejaba que echar 2 entradas y me sacaba. Un día Martín de León, ¿te acuerdan de Martín de León?
Yes.
He was a very good catcher, he was a strong man, ya era un hombre grande, solid, macizo. And he was a better catcher than me, of course.
El hermano de Manuel de León, el papá de Barbara Garza.
Ándale, yes. Entonces, así tuvimos unos otros 4 años por ahí. Y mandaban traer, bueno, Ismael era el hijo de mi tío Santiago. En los sábados iba para Laredo.
Pipino.
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 Ándale, Pipino.
And this was hardball, right?
Béisbol, handball. Entonces él se quedaba de este lado de Laredo y llegaba de nuevo a Laredo, venía Nacho González y regalaba. I don't know his name, nomás le dijeron regalado. Regalado era el left field y Nacho era el tirador. Y aquí tiraba como varios años con mi tío Santiago. Y luego el domingo en la tarde, pues María los llevaba y ellos cruzaban para atrás y María se venía. Ahí estuvimos haciendo eso por varios años. Anyway, don Pedro Marroquín,
Papá de Corina.
papá de Corina, me dijo, yo voy a levantar una novena, dijo, y lo vamos a llamar los rebels, los rebeldes. Dijo, ¿por qué no te vienes a jugar conmigo?
Ándale.
Le dije, don Marroquín, le dije, si you let me be your number one catcher, le dije, yo me voy a jugar con usted. Digo, you're my number one catcher. Dije, está bueno, yo me voy a jugar con usted. Y tío, le dije, me voy con un Marroquín. Digo, ¿por qué, Vidal? Digo, porque me va a dejar quechar. Usted no te deja quechar. Digo, estás muy joven todavía. Y no, le dije, pero me voy con un Marroquín. Y había un tirador que le traíamos de Bieber. Le dije, el Prieto. Estaba más prieto que yo.
And that's hard. That's hard to do.
Y le dije el Prieto, y cada vez que venía crudo. Venía crudo.
Más
Y
triste.
era left-handed pitcher. Pero let me tell you, that guy could pitch. Y that was every Sunday morning, iban y Alejandro Marroquín a traerlo. Y hasta la fecha, mira, ahora que estoy en los de Dallas, vi un hombre ahí y le dije, oye, ¿no conozco a Joe Balazar? ¿El Prieto? Y dije, sí, el Prieto. Y ¿cómo no? Yo sí lo conozco, tengo muchos años. Le dije, ¿cómo ha estado? Digo, todavía de banda de borracho y no se le ha quitado.
Más
Y bueno, pues ni modo, ¿qué le hacemos?
His liver's okay.
Yeah. Pero no, así comencé yo, me cometió Santiago, y yo me fui con los Marroquín. Y cuando tenía los 14 años, yo tenía 14 y Lalo tenía 15. Lalo tirado y yo quechaba. Metió Santiago y don Vicente Ganceres de dinero. Bueno, pues, trabajaban en el traje. Y le digo, Santiago, necesito un pitcher y catcher para el domingo. Digo, vamos a jugarle a masas. Digo, necesito un pitcher y catcher. Digo, déjame ver qué puedo hacer, te aviso mañana. Sí, el siguiente día, pues en la tarde nos preguntó a mí al lado. Dijimos que sí. Le digo a mis Ganceres que sí, que viniera el domingo en la mañana, levantara y ayudarle. Okay. Y sí, cuando llegamos allá, ya estaban los dos teams, y nada, y todo, comenzamos a bailar los pues le ganamos a masas.
Ándale.
Déjame irte. Digo a don Ganceres, digo, ¿qué quieres cenar? Digo, tengo gallina, armadillo o conejo. Back then había muchos conejos.
And it was good.
Armadillo was good.
Armadillo con greve y todo.
No, hombre,
No, la señora me dijo frijoles, arroz, armadillo con greve, tortillas, té. Y cenamos y los trajo Mr. Ganceres. Cuando llegamos a la casa, sí, en la casa. Digo, ¿no quieren ayudarme el otro domingo? No, primero le dio $5 a Lalo, 5 a mí. No, hombre, $5 con una peseta entrabas a las vistas.
Pues sí, ajá, ya.
Como quiera yo ya estaba trabajando, pero yo le daba la mayoría de dinero a mamá.
Pues sí.
Y luego dijo, ¿no me quieren ayudar otro domingo?
Dale.
Pues de volar dijimos que sí, por $5.
You were semi-pro, huh?
Yeah, right. Going with the money.
Yeah. ¿Cuántos años tenías tú, Rosa, cuando comenzaste a jugar conmigo?
Hey, that's a good question.
I want to say you were very young to them.
I must have been, well, I was in 6th grade. So what, 12?
Maybe 12.
Well,
You were playing that young?
Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
yes.
Was your family heavy into it, like Dad and Joe and them, or no?
Nobody.
No.
They were me.
So it was just inside of all of you to be competitive and participate in that. Then, see,
Well, my dad played ball.
your dad did too.
Sí, Mingo, papá Diego.
Oh yeah.
Played
Okay.
por muchos años.
Yeah.
Fíjate, cuando baseball faded away for some reason, entró softball. Yo que echaba el baseball, pero cuando comencé a jugar softball, yo jugué a tercera base. You know. Pero, I don't know why, tienes que ir a San Antonio, a Precinto, para los a jugar el béisbol. Pero aquí estaba muy fuerte el béisbol más antes.
Yeah.
And,
The men's team too.
I think a Rosa le pasó something like me porque dije a mi mamá, porque ella me decía Vidal, right? Mira, Vidal dijo, de todos los Molinas, y no está hablando de los otros Molinas, estamos hablando de nosotros, de los Molinas, de nosotros. Digo, de todos los Molinas, dijo, no hay ni un pelotero. Digo, tú eres el primero Molina que juega pelota. You know, and a mí nadie me enseñó. You know, picked a lot of that on my own, y of course los que me enseñaban los coaches, you know. Y yo tenía una cosa que como estaba en el dugout, yo ponía mucho cuidado de las posiciones, cómo le hacían, cuándo le hacían. Y a mí me gustaba careful way porque hay otra cosa que hay como cuando tú estás cachando, you have the whole field in front of you. ¿Me entiendes? Y cuando un berro viene, pues más que no trae el uniforme. Y cuando traen una camisa verde, un pantalón gray o esto y lo otro. Y te ponías trucha porque decías, este gallo ahorita, esta camisa de verde, ahorita vino y la partió.
Yeah.
So I have to work other positions con él. Y así aprendías tú a estos que venían a pegar. Y los que estaban medio weak, pues ya sabías que era kind of weak. Pero los solid guys que pegaban macizo, esos son los que tenías que tener mucho cuidado con ellos. Cuando yo quechaba, yo miraba a los coaches y se hacían una seña. Y de hit away, y se le volvían otra vez. Yo sabía que iba a hacer porque ya le había agarrado la maña, ya le había, que es una porquería. So, pero digo que you learn a lot of things that way. Y a los peloteros, como de ustedes, como la chamaca de Rosa que está jugando, la nieta, y otros kids que yo admiro, yo les digo, los pollos. Así, no hay una flag, o no hay sacate, o qué rica hay. Porque si, mira, cuando te pegan un foul, estás quechando y no la miras en front of you, muchas veces se van para atrás, buscar la bola. No, cuando no miras la bola en front of you, all you gotta do is turn around and you have it in front of you. ¿Me entiendes cómo te digo? I'm facing the field, me pegan un fly ball para arriba, all I gotta do is más voltear y la tengo enfrente de mí. You know? And little things like that, little things make big things.
Me acordé de que dices tú de señas y cuánto. I don't know, can we wait until we finish talking or something? I have a joke to say.
You say it right now, girl.
No. Este me lo dijo un tío. Dijo, no hombre, que cuando estaba jugando pelota yo y hasta los días decía, pues no sabía el guy que le estaba diciendo el coach, y estaba el guy que iba a pegar. Y decía el coach allá en la orilla, Bear, te estaba haciendo señas. Y que el bocho, ¿qué le estaba haciendo allá el coach? Le decía. Que él decía, que no entendía qué le decía el coach y que la pelota que venía otra vez y el coach allá le hacía. Hasta, time, déjame contar al coach. El coach, ¿qué me está diciendo? No entiendo qué me está diciendo. Que peles ojo baboso, que las bolas vienen muy bajas. Pues sí, le hacía el loco, la boca, la bola, la boca. Coach, ¿qué me estás diciendo, coach? ¿Qué señas me estás haciendo?
Me voy a ahogar.
Bien claro, pues pela ojo, baboso, que las bolas vienen muy abajo. Oh my God.
Y los dio la demonstration. Qué bueno que no son fair.
Well, I'll say this: we're hitting an hour now, so we don't have to stop doing anything, but we can start wrapping this part up. So I mean, if there's anything you guys want to share, or you want to talk to the younger girls nowadays and give them some advice, what do you guys got for them? Rosa, you go first. We'll go the other way. Okay. We'll start the same way.
Advice? Go visit Bear.
Most of all, what they need to learn is they need to be responsible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody wants to do anything
devoted.
anymore.
And be
Yeah,
devoted.
the devotion.
Yeah,
you need
devoted
to-
and
They have to want
responsible.
to do it. They have to want to do it.
They
It's
have to
not
love
in
to.
them to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's anything like anything in life, right? You're going to be as good as you want to be.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to be good, you're going to work hard. It's just it's everywhere, right?
Is that the
Work,
kid
everything.
wants to be good, porque le puedes decir y decir, pero le entra por aquí, sale por acá.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think it's so funny to hear you say about how this guy burned me earlier, because I remember growing up and hearing that. Okay, remember the girl with the braid? She's the one that hit the ball to the left side. And
Yeah, I remember
this.
that too. I remember him
And
telling me.
Just, I mean, it just taught us that, oh, hey, this girl, she's the one that hit it this way, and then you just got ready, you just learned different things. But the one thing I always remember, your hair looked like that all day long. It never messed up. It don't
I
matter
couldn't
how
wear a
high it was.
cachucha, really. I mean, if I did, I have to
It never
really
messed
have trouble with my
It never
hair.
messed up. It was like that. But like, I don't know if you would have been playing then, because I know you had kids, and you stopped here and there. But like when Dad wanted to combine George West and Three Rivers together, and I was like, we don't want to play with Three Rivers. And he said that's how you're gonna have a better team, right? So I can still remember everybody meeting at the Little League field, and George West and George West girls sat over here, Three Rivers girls sat over here. These were ladies.
Yes.
Okay. And then I can remember the speech. I was a kid. It was like, I'm not asking you to hug and kiss each other. I'm just asking you to play ball together. And after a while, you'd hear, hey, good catch, or good hit. And then became one team. You know. And then even when years later, he did that same thing in Little League with George West and Three Rivers. He knew if he wanted to go further in the All-Stars, he needed to combine the two teams or two towns to have a good team. So, I mean, I think that's probably one of the first people I saw do that.
I think to me, being small and watching it, I think that's one thing that kind of impressed me was the George West Three Rivers Tilden small community, and to have so many ladies that are that competitive. And it's like I was telling Nina on the way down here, I said, you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, you guys were girlfriends and daughters and mothers, and you know, now you're grandmothers. But back then, it was like you had jobs, you had kids to take care of, you had all this stuff. And Dad's the kind of guy that he wants to have practice. And if you don't come practice, you're not gonna play. You know. But to have that many women in a small community that every weekend you turn into killers. You know what I'm saying? And y'all were competitive. Y'all went after it. Like Barbara said, it was to the point where, you know, it was very rough trying to combine you, and you're adults. But it was that competitive nature of I don't want to lose my spot, I don't want to lose a game, and to have that many women in one area that are so like-minded that they may not get along all the time. You know, to me, it's in a weird way, that's impressive to me. You know, to have that many women that can handle everything they have to handle this part of their life and their daily life, and then on the weekends show up and just murder people. You know, I always thought that was impressive. And again, like I said, I was kind of like, well, we're gonna be here all day. I'm not looking forward to it. It's hot. You know, I was telling my wife, I said I have a concession stand palate because I only like concession stand food. I was like, well, that's all we ate growing up. You know, we were at a Little League game, or we were at a, you know, in Freer, you know, and it's nothing but rattlesnakes and dirt, you know. But for that many women to come out of such a small area and to be that competitive without any sort of real, you know, like Barbara has this family history with her dad and her brothers that are very competitive and athletic and all involved in sports from the beginning. You know, for you guys to just have that in you, you know, and it was something that eventually developed, but it was something that was already in you guys, you know. And to me, that's impressive. You know,
the one thing I'm also grateful for is because, you know, we lived at the field when we were kids. I got to see Dad play softball. I remember Dad playing third base and playing a mean third base. You know, I mean, so I'm glad I got to watch him play. So.
I think I got to see him as umpire. Good.
No, he wasn't a good umpire because when he umpired, he called
He just-
strikes when they were
yes.
balls. On us. On his kids.
Not to mention the stickers you gotta get out of his legs,
Barbara,
stickers, throw him,
es
so.
como dice Elena,
He throws
no
up
balls.
every time.
Lobo. Ponte trucha.
Bueno, ¿qué sigues?
What are we doing?
Advice for young girls.
Oh, well, right now I have two little ones, they're 6 years old, Somos Cuates and Melissa, and they're in T-ball. They just started T-ball. And we had gotten a set of the T-ball things at home, because I love sports. I've always loved sports, and that was my outing. I think out of all of us, 6 siblings, I'm the only one that ever participated in all the sports at school. The other ones were not interested. It wasn't in them. And I want them to have the same opportunity and to be able to play, the sport that they like. So I told Melissa, let's put them in everything, whatever they is available. Let's play for it. So we try to. The first T-ball thing has already bit the dust because they whacked it and whacked it, and it's broken. So we are in the process of getting another one, but I practice with them. I tried to teach them, what we were taught, the want to, the ability, the
desire.
the desire that it's in you. You want to play. You want to do good. You want to do better for the
It's
big game.
fun.
So that is my steps in trying to guide my grandkids.
Inspire your grandkids.
Yeah, to do, because my other 2 grandkids that are my son's son is Tanner, and he is an awesome baseball player, and that is his favorite sport. He loves football. They're into everything too, and that includes golf. My granddaughter is she's going to participate in pole vaulting. Her and another teammate are going to pole vault district pole vaulting, and they do this all year long. It's
They're in both.
in Fall City.
Fall City.
In Fall City. So all of them are very athletic, and Eugene was very athletic. He enjoyed football, and he enjoyed baseball.
Yeah, I remember.
So Melissa, they're little. They're 6 years old, and they're kind of hard to settle them down to make them do what But we're working on it. I've got advice for them, and I've got practice for them, and I've got everything going. So.
And Vito, the very first game I went to see him, he was dancing in first base. Dancing through the 2 legs.
Hello, mija. Sorry.
That's why.
But they've got to have it in them, because like my daughter, I always wanted her to do sports. Rosa got to teach her volleyball. She wasn't a good athlete at all. And as soon as she could get out of it, because I would have let her quit. If you're going to join something, you're going to do it until it's over with, whether you like it or not. Well, once she got into band, she said, okay, I'm not doing that no more. It's got to be in there.
And that's something that's interesting because, I think Dad, I remember him talking to parents when he was coaching Little League, and somebody would come up to him and say, hey, why isn't my daughter pitching? And I remember Dad specifically saying, your daughter's not a pitcher. She's really good at second base, or she's really good at outfield. Well, the parent was like, well, I want her to pitch. And I think being able to you can carry that, so to speak, killer instinct that you have in a certain sport. And let's say the kids are born and they're into dance, it's still the same mindset regardless of what you're doing, whether it's band or it's ballet or anything like that. You still have to have that commitment that you talked about. and the drive to wanna
Because
be good.
like I say, I wanted Juliana to do sports and she wasn't any good, but she was really good at band.
Yeah.
She was perseverant.
You know, una vez,
That's when you get.
ahorita que Diego está hablando de eso, el papá de esa chamaca, y estaba lleno el Little League Field, los bleachers y todo. Vino, y apenas vino todo, bueno, yo me salí para allá y vino, y estaba bien enojado conmigo. Me echó maldiciones. No, mire, delante de toda la gente, los chamacos y todo. He was so mad at me que he's still cussing me. Y yo nomás viéndolo, yo nunca dije una palabra. I never said a word. Ya cuando vi de que ya no se paró de hablar, me dijo, you done, sir? Yo, yeah, I'm done. Y well, God bless you. Y me di la vuelta y me fui.
Ándale.
¿Para qué quería yo ser como ese
Yeah.
hombre?
Mejor que un
Qué
pendejo
chulada,
nada
yo.
dos.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Ahora que nació eso,
Better have one eater than have two.
I'll,
what my
I'll
mom
say
said.
I'll say this also. A lot of times we talked about earlier about dad trying to find girls, and bringing them in from out of town to be competitive in certain tournaments. It's funny because how old are you in t-ball? Were you 5 or 6, something like that? I remember being in t-ball and dad was coaching for the Red Sox. And I remember, a lot of times you'll see parents coaching their kids' sports and their kids getting a lot of game time. Well, I'm my mom's only kid and I'm the youngest, so I'm a bit of a spoiled brat. So to me, dad was coaching t-ball and I was like, this is great. I'm gonna play no matter what. And I remember going home upset that I didn't get very many reps in practice. And I'm naive. I'm 5 or 6 years old, whatever it is. And I'm like, how come you didn't let me play so much today? And he said, look, I love you, but I can only play 9 kids, and I'm gonna play the best 9 kids. And if you're not one of them, you're not gonna play. So if you want to play, be one of the best 9 kids. And I remember thinking, man, I didn't even want him to be my coach anymore. I was done with it.
Shape up or ship out?
Yeah.
sigue Ana.
Advice.
¿Qué consejo le dieras tú a tu amiga?
What was the question? Keep your eyes on the ball.
I'm too busy eating.
Keep your eyes on the ball.
Since I don't have any grandkids or not
¿Tienes-
even brothers or
tienes amigos,
sisters.
amigas y-
Yeah, but I always try to give people, all the people that I can all the time, good advice. Spiritual or no spiritual, or ways of being and going about, not giving up, and always thinking positive, and never giving up. And this is just the way I do with everybody, whether they're little or big or whatever. But I always try to encourage everybody for whatever, anything, de todo, I think I try to do that with everybody, to help them and help out whoever I can.
My advice would just be, if you're gonna play, go out there and play, give it your best, and if you're not, quit taking up that coach's time. Because he doesn't have to be out there coaching you,
Wasting
but
your
he
time.
takes time out from his family to coach y'all, so don't be out there acting silly or anything like that. Go out there and give it 110%.
Celia?
Well, I have always loved sport. I've always felt like, physically, mentally, and, it's going to keep you in shape. It's going to keep you going. It's going to give you, more energy to go on every day and whatever. And I can't pass that on, mija. She started out with volleyball, and there was a volleyball net behind our house in the playground, this little park there. We would practice with her, but because she's so small, she couldn't get the ball across. But anyway, she went into volleyball at school, and we would go see her and whatever. She could never make it across, and I would tell her, do this, to get the ball over. So she knew how to set up, she knew how to do this and the other. So they would play her, dun, 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 dun. When she get to be serving, they'd get her out, So she just felt like in the running up and down the hills. I said, you can do it, Mija. Yes, you can do it. You know, so I've always felt that the athletic part in me just didn't come across to her because of her shape and her disposition and whatever. So then she went into band and she felt that she could do better there. So then I had supported her there. So, but to me, it's like she still knows, pero no hace caso.
Baba,
She would try to.
Baba, dale Sisi la tarjeta para que le saque.
Where did that?
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So I still do it. I still feel that we need to do it, but they don't share my enthusiasm, you know. And but I've got a good husband that probably we have to do this over. You know, I would be here. And so today I was so excited. You know, I really feel that this is so great. I feel like I hadn't written in that progress for a long time, but this is making me come back to write something, a real good story, and I'm hoping that I'll be guided by the Holy Spirit that it will come out good, you know, and that's why I'm taking notes and really, you know. But yes, I do feel that, like Sylvia, when you're out there, you gotta give it your all. There's no way that I could live with myself if I was out there mareándomela. You do the best you can because you're working for a good coach, you're working for the team, and the idea that you never thought you were going to get hurt, you know, we never thought we were going to break a finger or you're going to break a leg or whatever. You gave it all. You slid into base and you did it, you know, so I always felt like, andas de mi totera, what is it, an army out there, you know, so I like it.
Good.
But,
Babe, what do you got to say?
Well, I enjoyed all of y'all, you know, camaraderie. I always felt like I was never going to get along with anybody, but you know, but I saw that y'all were very dedicated, and I knew how much he loved the sport. So I was there to support him and to support y'all because, I mean, anything I could do for anybody, you know, I was there, and just for kids nowadays, it's very hard nowadays because kids are very different than what they used to be. You don't have kids that are devoted to anything. They have no self-worth. The kids just don't care about themselves anymore, you know, like they used to. They don't care about other people. They don't care how they do things.
That's what he's up to.
They're not proud of the things that they do. So how do you bring them back to play the way y'all played, you know? It's hard. And I feel sorry for those coaches that are trying because I know it's got to be hard.
I think I just, while the guy said that you're only going to be as good as you want to be, but aside of that, I want to tell you thank you for everything you've ever done for me, and then just all of us. I mean, you taught us the game, but even your kids, you taught us to work hard and have good work ethic. So thank you for everything you've done. So.
Yeah, and a lot of kids think, you know, you owe me, you know. You're out here, you don't have a family, you don't have your own life. You got to be out here working with me because I'm important, you know. And that's not true. I mean, the family is losing so much part of that, of their dad not being there, that if they're not there with him, you know, they're hardly ever with him. So how do the kids expect that for the family to have that time with their dad if they're not there in the field with them? You know, they've got to realize that he's given up a lot of time.
I was watching a show on Netflix, and I won't tell y'all what it is because it's got a lot of bad words and Dad will get mad at me. But there's a part in there where the athletes are very, very good, and they're not very coachable, and the coach gets really upset. He starts yelling at him, and it really hits you because he finally tells him, he's like I'm here with you. You know, I'm not with my family. I'm not with my daughter. He says, I got a son who's got a game going on right now. He said, I'm here with you. You know, so it's important for us, even whether it's through sports or whatever it may be, when somebody's trying to help give us advice, to take the time to listen to it, you know, because they're doing it to help us grow, you know, and it may not be something we necessarily agree with all the time, but it's something that's going to help us grow. And I just think that Dad, a lot of times when I was growing up, we look back and we say, well, I think I called you when I was 26 or something. I had a friend of mine who was having a hard time with his kids, And I called him and I said, hey, I appreciate you being as strict as you were. You know, because Dad was super strict. He may not admit it.
Especially with you.
He was super strict. I was his favorite. That's probably what it was. His favorite to spank. But, you know, as I got older, I realized, oh, that's where that came from. And it all starts making sense, you know. So I think that you guys giving advice to y'all's kids and grandkids, and, you know, at some point it's going to click, right? And so I think as long as we keep being an example and explaining and being repetitive and staying consistent with the things that you show the younger generation, at some point, they may be 26 driving on Loop 410 heading home, it's going to click. And it's going to go, oh, that makes sense now. You know, he wasn't just a bossy old man. You know, he was doing it for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sissy's here.
I'm sorry. What was the exact question?
Well, one thing, Sissy just walked in and she looks amazing.
Yes.
But, you know, if you have any stories or something you want to share real quick about your experience.
I was just telling Carmen that I have a really bad memory. I just remember us having a good time with Vera, that he taught us. Like, we would just go out there at the beginning and we thought we knew everything, just swinging away.
Having fun.
Having fun. And he taught us how to place the ball, how to catch it correctly, how to step, twist, turn, so that we could get that extra step and get that person out, you know. He just taught us more than us just messing around.
Did you have any back history? We kind of went over it with the other ladies, but what was your back history with sports? Was it something you were constantly involved in? Because like we talked about earlier, you know, for being such a small community, there was a handful of women that were for lack of better terms, I like to say killers on Sundays. You know, on weekends, y'all came and y'all were competitive, and like, you know, we had Dad growing up where it was a constant. You were constantly had your glove on, you constantly hitting the ball. You know, did you have somebody like that, or was that kind of your first experience in sport, was playing softball?
I guess that was my first real big
You picked it up on your own because...
Well, I was always athletic, you know. I played baseball with the boys. We didn't have softball back then. So, but when I guess I was about 13, I guess, 14, when we started playing with Bear. Mm-hmm. And from there on, we played with him, you know. I mean, he's my biggest coach, my longest running coach.
Well, let me ask you this, between her and Rosa.
What position?
Oh.
I started out at the outfield.
Outfield.
I can't remember where. I think left field.
Yeah, left field.
Left field.
So Barbara was yours, but Rosa being as young as she was, and Sissy being as young as she was, how did you convince Joetta? How did you convince their parents to let them join the team so young?
My mother was always at work. My dad was always away from home.
Oh, yeah.
And there was really no parenting there to tell me, no, you can't do it. My dad was real strict. He did not believe in girls playing any sport. So when I got to high school, it was high school, when I started playing basketball in high school, he didn't even know I played.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did not know. If had he known and that we wore shorts, hombre. Yes.
Si se quiere jalar de mi tutela,
We
don't
prayed
come
that
back
he
with your
wouldn't
finger
come home on a
hurting.
game night, because if he didn't find us at home, we were going to get a beating.
When did he find out eventually that you're...
He was up. My mom had divorced him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you would pass it all what you have learned, knowledge to your grandkids and...
Oh,
Kids,
not only
of course.
grandkids, but kids at school.
Yeah.
Some of these parents' kids were my kids at school. Yeah.
Well, see, that's good that she brought that up, because a lot of kids out there, they need us, because even their parents don't have time for them, or they don't teach them, or
Get them off the
You
street.
know, some unfortunately just don't know.
You
You know,
were
so
saying
I mean,
that-
it was good that, you know, like Rosa coach, you coach, because I mean, there are some parents who have no idea how to play ball, and they have kids that want to play ball. So it was good that you had people that were willing to volunteer their time to coach.
And in a community like ours, there's I'm going to sound racist, but, you know, the Browns, for instance, let's say, I'm just throwing out a name, have to play ball because I'm a prominent citizen, you know? And that
And it
kid might not be able, can't hold the ball, you know?
We've seen those.
Well, now that you brought that up, let me tell you a story.
It was racist, wasn't it? Seem it was.
Estaba coachando yo allá en el baseball field. Y estos dos guys, they have money, tienen dinero. Y los chamacos de ellos iban a comenzar a jugar, you know. So, fueron los chamacos y todos andaban allí, y luego me dijo, vinieron los dos, they both came together. Dijeron, hey Barry, dijo, you're going to let our boys play, right? I said, yeah. I said, if we're going to have tryouts, and if I see that they're cutting the mustard, yeah, they will play. They go, regardless, you're going to let them play, no? Well, they're going to have playing time, but I'm not going to tell you they're going to start. If they show me they can start, they're going to start. If not, they're not. Porque aquel chamaco que está pobrecito, ese sí está en la lucha, and he's a better ball player que él. He can start, not this guy. And let me tell you another story real quick. Yo me considero que I was fair to everybody. Una vez, Barbara, que sabe qué estaba haciendo, y la saqué. She got mad at me porque la saqué. And another thing, una vez estábamos jugando ahí Entre Ríos, it was a co-ed, ahí en el American Legion. And Eddie se había ido a jugar con los Gutiérrez, las Panteras. Las Panteras querían que Eddie fuera a ayudarles a jugar al Pleasanton. And they had the early game. Y me dijo, Dad, digo, voy a ayudar a las Panteras. Digo, you want me to go help them? I said, okay, me gusta, bueno, go. O se fue, right? No, hombre, quiero que lo sepas que de ratito, dijo, what are you doing here, Eddie? No, dijo, ya, dijo, we're out. Digo, sí. Digo, you want to let me play? Le dije, siéntate ahí un rato, le dije, un ratito. Y luego agarró un bate y estaba ahí sentado, I can just see him, you know. Y luego me dice, Dad, I'm here, Dad, I'm here. Ya, dijo, quédate sentado un ratito más. Y luego otra vez, Dad, I'm here, Dad. Sí, mijito, hay que decir un rato más. Hasta que viene mi hijo, Dad, you're not going to let me play, right? Dije, no, mijo, no, no le
I bet he never went to play with him again.
Dad, one thing Dad has always been is consistent. You know, as he's gotten older, he's been more consistent with people in the way he treats them, and it's interesting because like your race and your financial standings in the community never made a difference. You know, and I think that's one thing that brought all y'all together was what made a difference was winning and being competitive and playing your hardest. You know, and when you look at things that way, you know, winning and being competitive doesn't look at how much money you have or what your race is or what your background is or who your parents are. You know, when you look at it as at a pure form and look at it that way, hey, we want to show up and we want to win this tournament. You know, everything else is out the door. It doesn't matter anymore. And I think that's one thing that sports does for people is it's about being competitive and being a winner. You know, whether you take first place or not, you know, you're still a winner. You still showed up. You still played your heart out. I know Barbara's probably making faces because that was the saying growing up was, you know, hey, what is it? It's not whether you win or it's not whether you win or lose. It's whether you have fun. And Barbara would say, "Do you have fun losing?" And then no, I don't. You know. So yeah, it's important to win, but.
Yeah.
No, correct me if I'm wrong, Rosa. Yo estaba escuchando a Robert McWilliam. And Robert McWilliam, ese día, I had ordered trophies para los kids. So I was going para casa en casa a dejarle las trophies a los niños. Y llegué a la casa de Robert y no contestó nadie. So I went to Mike Tribola's house. A dejarle la trophy al chamaco y le dije, voy para acá Robert, le dije, pero no lo hallé. Dijo, no, dijo, digo, están en Houston, digo, está en el hospital. Le dije, sí, dijo, sí, ¿tú tienes? Le dije, no, hombre, le dije, porque andaba correteando, brincaba y saltaba y todo, y hacía todo lo que yo le dije. Digo, bueno, está mal. And cuando yo iba a salir Robert, you baked that cake, right?
I remember making a cake for him, but I don't remember well.
Well, see, I told Rosa to make me a cake, porque yo quería salir un cake cuando saliera. Y le dije, pero lo quiero que sea un baseball field. So she put the infield verde, de afuera blanco, and I think she put monitos en cada position. Y la otra vez que estaba hablando yo con Miss William, me dijo que Robert todavía tenía un monito.
Oh.
You know, and he was supposed to come today, porque me habló ayer. Digo, ¿a qué hora va a comenzar? Digo, a las 3. Digo, I think Robert wants to swing by.
Oh.
And I wanted her to be here, but dije, mira, ella fue la que te
made that cake.
You know, because estaba muy chiquito,
Yeah.
you know. And of course que Rosa también, you know, she was starting making cakes y todo, y she made good cakes. And
Who'd have thought? That tomboy, who'd have thought?
We know that's nice because, here he is, he's probably 41 now, and to still have that impact that you guys had on him and even just participating in the game like that. It's something that sticks with you forever, it really does.
And yo soy muy agradecido porque todavía se acuerdan de esas cosas, ¿me entiendes? Todavía se acuerdan lo que tú hiciste por su hijo. Especially, estaba enfermo y todo. And of course, que todos nosotros, se hacen algo bueno por nuestros hijos, nuestros nietos.
So Robert was a little boy or Robert was a dad?
No, he was a little boy.
He was
a little boy.
Dwayne McWilliams, the attorney, is his dad.
Oh, and McWilliams, a lawyer.
Okay. So he's a attorney. Okay.
And Miss McWilliams.
And why did he
was a
go
teacher
to
for a long
did he
time.
go to Indy Anderson or Houston? Where he was in the
No sé en qué hospital estaba.
Okay, just at Houston.
Estaba en un hospital en Houston.
Yeah.
Y otra cosa que me estoy acordando ahorita, yo coaché a Danny Ponce, a coach en Little League. Y una vez estaba yo en third base coachando un Little League game. Y he went and sat on the bleachers acá. Yo estaba en third base, entonces en todos los bleachers eran first base, de ese lado. Y oí la voz de Johnny, lo conocí de volada. Digo, is that bear out there? Digo, he's still coaching? Digo, he coached me in Little League. And, yo dejé de coachar en 2004. Estábamos practicando con las chamacas. Y yo noté que le estaba pegando ground balls, right? Y por unos 5 o 10 segundos, y un ratito más pronto, se me cortó el aire. Entonces comencé a rezar otra vez. Y le dije a Carmen, porque en 94 I had 5 bypasses, right? And le dije a Carmen, le dije, no veo si acabar la temporada, early season, or we'll get checked right now. Digo, no, dijo, más que vas a chequear. So fui y me chequearon y todo. Pues fui, digo, you had a heart attack. Le dije, no, le dije, I don't think so, le dije, porque yo no sentí dolor, yo no sentí nada, le dije, it was just como 5-10 seconds. Se me cortó el aire. Digo, you got what we call a silent heart attack. Digo, el silent heart attack te hace mucho daño porque no lo sientes.
Yeah.
Que cuando sientes el heart attack, rush you to the hospital, te dan una inyección, paran el attack y todo. Pero de esta manera, digo, no lo paras. Y sí, porque de acá abajo me ofendió, ¿me entiendes? Y en 2004 fue cuando colgué los guantes. To me, I thought it was too early because I was still doing it. Pero no me dejaba el relojito.
La cosa es que no le buscara ruido al chicharrón. No le buscara ruido al chicharrón.
Hay un canto que dice, ¿dijiste chicharrón, ¿Dijiste chicharrón? No sé cómo va todo el canto, pero dice, ¿cómo dice? Dice, cara de limón nunca se usó. Cara de limón siempre criticó, cara de limón ni un alma salvó, cara de limón se fue al infierno y se volvió chicharrón.
Well, I tell y'all guys what, or y'all ladies what, I really appreciate you coming out. When we talked about doing this, Dad got, I love him very much. And I told Barbara, I said, I love when he calls me. I don't care if he calls me 100 times. I love it. But when he calls 100 times, it's kind of like, yes, Dad, I know. And he was just super excited about doing this, having you all coming out here and hanging out and talking a bit and sharing stories. He's been he'll call and say, hey, did we do this? Did we get this? Who did you talk to? Is it on Facebook yet? And just over and over and over. And it's nice to see that excitement because it's very rare these days, you know, to have that kind of genuine excitement. And you ladies did it for him, you know. And now that I think about it, it makes me feel terrible because he doesn't get that excited about you and me. But he's been looking But he's been looking forward to it, and I appreciate y'all coming out and sharing this and sharing your experiences, and y'all were a big part of his life and our lives because you know we were there for it too. We were little, you know, but Barbara was playing, but man, it was just huge. And I told Nina all the time, I'm like these girls were crazy. It was amazing, you know. It was all day on the weekends. You're playing in the championship. You know, it was hot. It was loud. Coming from behind, beating on the roof of the dugout and screaming and chanting and it was wild. It was amazing, you know. And it's like I haven't seen that anywhere else since, you know. It's a wonderful thing.
And what I liked about it is that we didn't really use vulgar. There was no vulgarity at all. I think the worst thing that we would say was, she's no better, you know, kids. Was it when everybody, Stella Salazar.
I say
She's
you're not
no
gonna
better,
see
she
it
can't
because
run.
this is the kids nowadays.
No vulgarity.
You're stuck on the phone?
Yeah,
They're
the telephone.
They don't know what it is to be outside to work in the yard or.
But nobody was cussing or anything.
Yeah.
But their kids don't. My grandkids don't. This is what they know.
Well, I appreciate you guys. We're gonna wrap this up, but we don't have to leave yet. I don't know what time we can stay till.
I got a flag from Celia and Anna, and I really appreciate it. And I got a card also. Read it.
Oh man,
We made
you
you.
know I don't read good,
Bear,
Dad.
we made you the coach for the Cherokees.
It says, man, I read terrible. Vidal Bear Molina, to keep you safe and always light your way for yours. Man, Barbara, read this. Barbara, read that.
And you're married to a school teacher, really?
Did you see the front part?
I always say if it's worth reading, they'll make a movie out of it.
There's an angel watching over you, and it's a bear. Right. So it says, to keep you safe and always light your way for your someone very special who means more than words can say. May God continue to bless you with good health for all you do for others. Celia Reese, picture. Bear, remember, we won't forget you. We want you to know. Anna Peña.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
This is the flag que me dieron.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, in appreciation for it. Yeah.
Barbara, read this.
Read it, sis.
Read it, sis.
Women's Cherokee Baseball. Vidal Molina Bear, in appreciation for your years of dedication and commitment to the Cherokees women's baseball team.
You know, let me tell you one last thing. That's probably what is that? Just your second, the only other plaque you have, right?
So, yeah.
The other one is a 1952 Little League 50 what? 1959 Little League All-Star plaque.
That's when I was born. In 59.
So now he's got another one to hang on the wall.
No wonder it was in my blood. He had a plaque.
It says Cherokee for all the players you stole.
Thanks for listening to the Gabe Molina Podcast.